Just off the western coast of Malaya and about 400 miles northwest of Singapore lies Penang, officially known as Prince of Wales Island. It is an important link in Great Britain's chain of empire and a principal port of entry to the Malay Peninsula. The capital and largest city on the island is Georgetown, with about 160,000 inhabitants, the majority of whom are Chinese. The harbor of Georgetown is noted for its colorful conglomeration of boats from all parts of Malaya. The principal products of the Malay Peninsula are rubber, tin, and copra, as well as coffee, spices, and rice, all of which go to make up the cargoes of the ships that pass to and fro in the harbor of Georgetown. The white circles that are painted on the bow of this boat are the natives' idea of eyes, which permit the boat to guide itself in time of trouble. Perhaps the only railway station in the world for which a train never passes is this one at Georgetown. The railway terminus is on the mainland, and all passengers must use ferry steamers to connect with their trains. Of all the strange cargoes that have sailed into this harbor, the oddest were those of the Yankee clippers that carried cargoes of ice to Penang over a century ago. Even today we may see here ships that are not unlike the Yankee clippers of old. The hard-working fishermen and sampan men who eke out a meager livelihood around the harbor live in picturesque fishing villages, such as we see here. On the busy docks of Georgetown, we find a mixture of Chinese, Malays, and East Indians, the most aggressive of whom are the Chinese. The Tamil and the Hindu add to the stock of local labor, but of the many successful merchants here, the majority are Chinese, and their language, customs, and architecture are predominant. Traffic policemen of Georgetown actually wear wings. This odd custom, however, was not so much of a heavenly thought as an earthly one, for the intense heat of Penang inspired it, so that the policeman on a hot day need not overexert himself in guiding the traffic. If one could read the signs on the front of these buildings, one would realize that in this part of Malaya, it is the Chinaman who is the merchant, the farmer, the architect, and the financier. Jinrikishas are the taxicabs of Georgetown, and their owners take great pride in decorating them with artistic designs. On a meager diet of rice and dried fish, a rickshaw coolie can trot for miles under a tropical sun and keep it up as long as he can find passengers to pay his modest tariffs. Among the many interesting events that come and go in the course of a day is the Chinese funeral procession, adding color and music, but no outward sign of grief to the traffic of Georgetown. The mourning color is white, and the character of the funeral varies with the social and financial position of the deceased. Funerals are of great importance to the Chinese, and no sacrifice is too great for a son to make in behalf of his deceased parents. In fact, one of the most appropriate presents that a son can give to an aged father or mother is a coffin. Most of the native Malays are Mohammedans, and they would suffer crucifixion sooner than deny their faith. But they are not bigots. In fact, they are very tolerant and believe that the absence of hypocrisy is the beginning of true religion. among the many oddities in the Chinese religion is snake worship. And for that purpose, this world-famous snake temple was erected in Penang. Ancestor worship and filial piety, however, form the real religion of the Chinese. A man shall ever pay tribute of deep reverence to his parents during their lifetime, to their spirits after death, and so to the spirits of all his ancestors. And this faith colors every act in the daily life of the individual Chinese. Firecrackers are set off by the worshiper to chase away the evil spirits who are believed to crowd around the souls of the dead. Chinese receptacles supporting wooden branches, called snake trees, are placed in and around the temple for the convenience of the sacred snakes. These poisonous adders enjoy a very peaceful life and spend most of their daylight hours in sleep. At night, they crawl about the temple, eating choice particles of food left for them by devout worshipers. And so goes the strange parade of religion around the world, in which the gods of mankind vary from sacred snakes to divine spirits. Down by the sea, we meet a group of the younger generation, representing the socially elite among the Chinese of Georgetown. The Malay and Chinese girls are famed for their charm and beauty. And speaking of Chinese fame, we must not overlook the Chinese cooks, who are world famous for their excellent cuisine. The Chinese have two substantial meals in the day, luncheon and dinner. And a rich man very often will serve to his guests at dinner 24 or more dishes, always a multiple of 8. This familiar-looking European combination, however, reminds us that Penang is a British colony, in which the cuisine of Old England occasionally gets mixed up with that of the Chinese. The Chinese were resident on the Malay Peninsula long before the coming of the white man, and many of them neither speak nor read the Chinese language, although they maintain their Chinese characteristics and their affiliations with China. It is difficult to say farewell to such exotic loveliness as this, but there's a steamer in the harbor with her engine shot with fire, and our hearts have gone aboard her for the island of desire. We are fevered with the sunset, we are fretful with the bay, for the wander thirst is on us, and our souls are in Cathay. And it is with this thought that we say, farewell to Georgetown, the pride of Penang.